Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. is one of the best, wealthiest, and most famous footballers in the world. He is the most expensive player in the history of football, the first man to captain Brazil's men's football team to Olympic gold, and one of only 3 players in the history of football to have scored 100+ goals for 3 different clubs. But these are things you probably already knew about the PSG number 10. In this video, we want to talk about those things about him that you had little to no idea about. Here are 5 things you didn't know about Neymar Jr. Number 1. He nearly died before he even clocked 1 year old. Back in 1992, Neymar and his parents were involved in a car crash and they very nearly lost their newborn son. Neymar was just 4 months old at the time and was still the only child of his parents as his younger sister had not yet been born. He and his parents were all in the family car on their way to visit relatives when the tragedy occurred. His father, Neymar Sr., was driving while his mother, Nadine, was in the front seat and little Neymar Jr. was alone in his baby seat at the back. All was going well and normal until an onrushing vehicle ran into them from the wrong side of the road and completely damaged their car. The impact of the collision left all the occupants of the car in bad conditions, but fortunately, a good Samaritan was there to help rescue the family. They found Neymar under the seat and brought him out of the damaged vehicle. A piece of broken glass had cut into his forehead, so the 4-month-old was covered in blood. But obviously, he survived and went on to become one of the best players of his generation. Number 2. He became breadwinner as a boy. Back in his early years in Brazil, Neymar was known as one of the most talented kids in the world. And that talent very quickly started fetching him money. At the tender age of 11, he joined the famous Santos FC, the same academy which his idol, the great Pelé, passed through. He started out in their youth team where he played for 6 years. But while he was there, he was earning enough money to begin to give his family a better life. His father played professional football in the past but he was not half as successful as Neymar is. So him and his sister grew up in a poor background. However, it was through the young Neymar's income from playing for Santos youth team that his parents were able to acquire the family's first ever home. That would go on to be just the first of many. Neymar continued to shoulder the financial responsibilities of his family, but luckily for him, it got easier as he just kept earning more and more by the year. At the age of 17, he signed his first professional contract and bagged his first sponsorship deal, and the rest, as they say, is history. Before moving on, in one of our previous videos we have talked about top 10 luxury items that Neymar owns. At the end of this video I will link you to that video. Moving on to number 3. He was a teenage dad. Neymar was pretty much just a kid when he had his own kid with his ex-girlfriend, Carolina Dantas. Davi Luca, his son, was born in 2011 when Neymar was only 19. But even though he was just a teenager, Neymar was already one of the most famous players on the planet at the time, and he was making enough money to raise the child and give him a good life. It's been more than a decade since he had his son, but Neymar is yet to have another child. Maybe he's done procreating, maybe not. What do you think? Number 4. He was very nearly paralyzed. The 2014 World Cup was held in Brazil and Neymar had the opportunity to lead Brazil to their first ever World Cup success on home soil. He was obviously the star of the Brazil show. When the competition started, he immediately began to live up to expectation. He scored 4 goals in the group stage and the winning penalty in the round of 16. But in the quarter-final against Colombia, after having assisted the first goal of the game, he was kneed in the back by Zuniga, and according to Neymar himself, he could not even move his legs, and so he had to be stretchered out of the pitch. A scan revealed that a vertebra in his spine was fractured. That ended his World Cup and very nearly ended his career. Neymar himself said that the doctor told him he was so lucky because, if the injury had happened just 2 centimeters to the side, he not only would not have been able to play football again, he would have straight up been paralyzed. Number 5. He is something of a movie star. Neymar seems to be really passionate about film, and he is not even waiting until he hangs his boots to delve into Hollywood. Apart from his Netflix documentary series in which he was obviously the main character, the former Barcelona man has also featured in quite a number of movies. Of all those movies and series, the most famous have to be Money Heist and XXX Return of Xander Cage. The footballing icon has also featured in a number of music videos including Eu Quero Chu, Eu Quero Char and País do Futebol, both sung by Brazilian musicians. Anyway, with Neymar already exploring his acting side, we would like to know, if Neymar were to be cast as a superhero, what superhero role do you think he'd be best for? Let us know in the comments. And please, nobody better say diving man. If you found this video entertaining, you know what to do. Smash the like and subscribe buttons. Also, turn on the bell notification so you're notified once a new video drops. As always, we'll catch you in the next video. That's all from Hattrick for now.